With the Portland Trailblazers winning today over the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in tournament, they have officially secured their position in the 2020 NBA playoffs. Now, the Blazers must play the first seed Lakers in the first round, and fans eagerly await as an upset may be on the cards. In today's video, I will be taking a look at the opening round matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers and Portland Trailblazers series and predicting the series, the team's strengths and weaknesses, the player who needs to step up, the key to success, every little detail. First round matchup. The Los Angeles Lakers have been by far one of the best teams this season, and entering the playoffs are many fans' favourites to win it all. The Lakers went 52-19 this season, but struggled in the NBA bubble, going 3-5. But these losses were mainly due to guys like LeBron and AD resting a few games. Speaking of LeBron, he's had yet another MVP caliber season, and though it's unlikely, he could win his 5th MVP this year. Overall, the Lakers have been great this season, there's no doubt about it, and it makes sense why many view them as the future champs of this season. It's fair to say Portland struggled this season, though it largely wasn't their fault. After an elite 2019 season where the Blazers made the conference finals, Portland struggled to perform this season with their lack of a big man and unhealthy roster, finishing the season with a record of 35-39. In the bubble, the Blazers went 6-2 and won 3 straight games to get into the NBA play-in tournament, where they of course won this morning. They were led by Damian Lillard, who absolutely dominated in the past week, putting up historic performances and winning their NBA bubble MVP unanimously in the process. CJ McCollum has also been playing quite well. Carmelo Anthony has been ridiculously clutch. It's been amazing to see how much heart and determination this team has to prove everyone wrong, which is why I'm happy they made the playoffs. They're going to make this series a lot more interesting than it may seem on the surface. So, what are the strengths and weaknesses of each team, and how will it help or hurt them in this series? Has been their transition offense. This is probably one of the Lakers' stronger parts of their offensive system, and it's seen in stats, as they are second in the league in transition points per game per 100 possessions. The Blazers aren't exactly the fastest team in the league, so the Lakers may be able to use this strength to their advantage. Another strength of the Lakers is their chemistry. Though it's hard to show you how good a team's chemistry is, it's obvious if you watch the Lakers how close-knit of a team they are. In high-pressure situations like the playoffs, where you have to trust and depend on your teammates, good team chemistry is key. And this arguably league best chemistry could be great for the Lakers these playoffs. But what are the weaknesses of the Lakers? Their biggest weakness to me has to be their 3-point shooting. Despite the Lakers signing on 3-point deadeyes like Dion Waiters, Danny Green, J.R. Smith, etc., the Lakers are still a poor shooting team from deep. They are a bottom 10 team in the league in 3-point percentage, with 35.8%, and this may hurt them in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see, but what I know for sure is that guys like Danny Green need to improve ASAP. So those are the strengths and weaknesses of the Los Angeles Lakers. But what about Portland? The first biggest strength of the Portland Trailblazers has to be their shooting, particularly from deep. The Blazers have the 3rd best 3-point percentage across the entire league, in large thanks to guys like Lillard and Carmelo Anthony having elite 3-point shooting seasons. Lillard has been elite this season from deep, particularly recently in the bubble, and his range has defenses worried, which makes the Blazers such a scary team to come up against. Another strength of Portland's is their interior defense. Throughout the season, prior to the suspension, this wasn't as big of a factor for them due to injuries sustained to Nurkic and Collins. But now, with them back fully healthy and with Whiteside still a presence on this team, The rim protection for this team is at an elite level. Both Nurkic and Whiteside are top-tier shot blockers, and against a team like the Lakers, who do a lot of driving kicks, these guys will be crucial for their success. For weaknesses, the biggest weakness I can think of has to be the Blazers' perimeter defense. If we're being honest, Lillard, McCollum, etc. aren't the greatest defenders, and it's why most teams' guards play well against them. I don't think this will be a huge issue versus the Lakers, as apart from LeBron, who technically is a guard this season, LA don't have any other really good offensive guard. So I think the Blazers may be in a bit of luck with this series, but this is still a major concern for them heading into the playoffs. But again, to be fair, I think this area of their game has improved as of late. So those are the strengths and weaknesses of both LA and Portland. In every playoff series, there's a particular player or two that needs to step up in order for that team to have the best chance at success, and that's what I'm going to be going over now. For the Lakers, the player that needs to step up is LeBron James, and it's for a couple reasons. In the bubble, the Lakers have really struggled offensively, and LeBron is no exception to that. As in the 8 final regular season games, LeBron shot a poor 41% from the field and 34% from 3, as well as continuing to struggle from the free throw line. Though it probably won't continue into the playoffs, LeBron cannot allow it to, as his impact is parallel to the success of the Lakers. LeBron also hasn't been back to the playoffs since over 2 years ago, so if he struggles this run, or in particular this series, it could hurt his legacy, especially if Dame and the Blazers pull off a huge upset. Though it's just round 1, LeBron has a lot on the line, and needs to improve from his recent performances if the Lakers are to remain championship favorites. For the Trailblazers, I'm actually going to say the whole team needs to stand up, because there isn't a standout player that needs to step up here. To be completely honest, the entire Blazers team has already stepped up hugely in their last 8 games. Just look at Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., and Carmelo Anthony for a couple examples, CJ McCollum too. I mean, he's been playing, but see the Blazers taking 1 game on them though, which is why I have them losing in 5, but I really doubt playoff LeBron would allow an 8 seed like the Blazers to even come close to winning the series. Again, the Blazers will show a lot of heart, and it's why I can see them taking a single game, but the superstars of LeBron James and Anthony Davis will just be too much for them, so I have the Lakers winning in 5 today. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Do you agree with my prediction? Who do you have winning this series and why? The Lakers or the Blazers, and in how many games? Let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am